guys, how you doing? Happy Thursday to you. I'm just finished eating my lunch. I ate in my car today and I didn't think about it. I could have talked to you and had a little chat while I was doing my lunch. But I got to get back to work. I was out here for a meeting and I decided to eat at one of the restaurants out here with Captain D's. I saw a mukbang last night, so I got that little 12 shrimp dinner with some green beans and what did I have? Fries. I know my mind's not that bad that I forgot that quick. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a happy Thursday. I kind of just wanted to come talk to you while I guess I'm driving back to work. I'll chat with you. How's the weather where you are? It went from being spring 70 something yesterday to 38 last night and 30 something. I think it was freezing, but it's cold here today. Once again, that's the beauty of living in the South. So I got to thinking, like I said, I was out at the main campus, which is about 15 minutes from where I work. It's only about, I guess, 120 of us in our building, but the main campus, there's thousands of employees out there, and they have a cafeteria and everything. Sometimes I wish I worked out there, and I recognize that it's a lot of businesses and stuff around here, too, that, even though it's a lot of restaurants and stuff, they're more like Olive Gardens, the chili, places to kind of sit down and eat. And so here it's like more fast food type thing, and you can eat real reasonable. And plus they have a cafeteria in that building. But anyway, enough of that. I done ate and ate me some Captain D's while I was out here. But yeah, I got to thinking. We got in a sidebar conversation after the meeting. And the funny part about it, we got to talking about and all comparing those foolishness on every job. And I've been working since I was 16. So, babysitting before then, but just working on a job, since I was 16 in some form or capacity. And I kid you not, some of these things do exist on every job. The main thing that we got tickled about, because it was somebody in the meeting thought they were everybody's supervisor. They on the same level as we are. They all professionals. So we all say, it's always one who think they have self-appointed themselves and given themselves a title of either supervisor or management, and they are not anybody's supervisor or manager. They so concerned about your job instead of being concerned about their own. And we have one of those, walking around, what time did Johnny get here? What time is so-and-so? And this and that, worried about somebody else. If you worried about your own desk, you wouldn't have to worry about anybody else's. Then another thing, we just all start just laughing and cracking ourselves up because we say, oh yeah, and then here go the classic, your actual manager don't know what it is you do. Yes, I understand the concept of employing people that are smarter than you, that know their job, that are specialized in this, that, or the other. But then acknowledge that you don't know, and stop acting like the expert when the person that knows what they're doing is trying to tell you the process. That's frustrating. It's almost like, we get it, this is not your area of expertise, just act like it, own up to it. Then, you got the situation where I'm sure a lot of this stuff goes on at your job. But then you got the situation where you have the same people. One thing I always have said, and I went to a conference one time, and the biggest thing she said, and that I caught hold to, was that your check is your reward. And yes, it is, and I think that is wonderful, and I love getting my paycheck. I always say variable income is a bonus. I like the fixed part. I don't want to hear nothing about you may get a bonus, you may not. Put it in my salary. So, but the thing of it is, if you have money to award your team and recognize them, don't recognize the same person for getting a paper clip up off the floor. you know, you be like, you have other people on your team that make contributions too. And, you know, it'll behoove you. And then don't not use the money and not give it to your team, you know, or even give it to somebody off the team, you know, give it, you know, that has helped your team out. It's there to use, and it helps boost morale. So that's another area of foolishness on the job. One thing about it, stop worrying about what so-and-so and such make. That's their money. Be happy for them. You cannot spend their checks. Spend your own check. You know, I don't begrudge anybody for making the company can get them $1 million if they want to. Just tell me how to get it and what I need to do and work-wise to get to that point. But it ain't going to take nothing away from me for you getting this enough there for everybody as far as I'm concerned. So, and that's another thing, you know, they'll tell you, you know, you can top out. We've increased the range of your pay. We increased the range. Well, if you're never going to give it to me, what difference does it make? You can make it as high as you want to make it if I can't get it. You know, this just a little stuff that makes you say, yeah. That's just kind of like just foolishness on the job. Foolishness on the job. I tell you the truth. But you got to take the good with the bad. I tell you, take it all with a grain of salt. And people, this may sound heartless. You do not come to work to make friends. People's feelings get so hurt easily on the friend. When you, such and such don't like me, well, I don't care if you like me or not. I think I'm a fairly likable person. In fact, I think I'm downright lovable. But I don't care how sweet and kind and giving you are. Everybody just not going to like you. Don't come to work to be liked. What you want to do is for them to like your work. When you interviewed for the job, they wasn't trying to see how many friends you were coming to make. They want to know that you had a skill level and skill set and the personality, disposition to do the work and not be offended by every little thing. And, you know, it's not about that. She said, I always say, if you make a friend, it's nice. And I have some friends that I've made in my working career. I consider that a bonus. I didn't come there for that. You don't know any of those people before you start working. And granted, you do spend a lot of time at your job, but that is not your life. Don't make it your life. And understand that if you make a friend, fine. But if you don't, that's fine too. We are not like, but what you ought to have is a mutual respect for people at work and be able to work on things and exchange. And I find it odd that people will walk past you all day long. I'm like, what kind of home training do these people have? Don't speak, really rude and nasty. I often get humor out of it. They're really rude and nasty, but they, as soon as they need something, they want to come be. You ain't spoke to me and walked past my desk in 10 months. Now you need something and you need help with something. You want to be my best friend. You know, but you just don't let that be a reason for you not to help them. I always say, regardless of how, always remain classy. Keep your integrity. Maintain your integrity. You know, it does not hurt you to keep your integrity and keep your character. Be who you are. Don't let how other people act, you know, distract away from the way you act. You know, pretty much the saying goes, I heard this years ago, don't allow other people's actions to determine the way you act. Anyway, guys, I guess it's been probably about 9 or 10 minutes I've been chatting with you about a bunch of just stuff off the top of my head, you know, and stuff that I found funny in the meeting. I hope you all are having a blissful day, and I'm sorry I missed my lunch chat with you, but I'll try to do one tomorrow if I think about it. I don't know what I'm going to bring for lunch. But anyway, I hope you all are having a blessed and wonderful day. Know that you are loved. You are something sure enough special, so walk in victory. God loves you. I love you. Always be kind to yourself and others. Be joyful and be blessed. And please remember to share your smile with someone to help brighten their day. I'll talk with you later. Bye.